Hey y'all, this is Marley K. Hope everybody is doing well today. I want to do a story about this labeling this Pope black. Now, I told y'all probably about 4 years ago. I know at least 4 to 5 years ago, maybe even longer ago, that everything is going to be tacked on to black people as this country collapses, as this world collapses. They are looking for a scapegoat, and the scapegoat is the Negro, African American, black people. We can add this to the black faces in high places type of deal. And y'all know what's happening with everything that has to do with these black people and the black faces in the high places. They're basically being broken down. This is going to be the same thing. They have to have a black pope, so when the savior comes, um, that savior is going to be white, so we can continue to trust Edom, Esau. This is just my theory, and let me preface this. I just got my tinfoil hat on. A lot of things I didn't have on my bingo card. Like, I knew there was a black pope, but I thought the black pope was a white man in the shadows, in the dark black shadows, who gonna come out and voila. But they got the black pope like they're a white. I ain't even talk about his complexion. They have this man who's claiming to be black American with African descent as the pope. So last pope black. The last pope is black. The with ties to African Americans, or alleged ties to Judah. That's the way they're setting this up, to get as many black people, African American black people, as well as other nations of people, Hamites, whoever you want, whatever you want to call them, to gravitate towards supporting this person who represents this entity who is the direct conflict to the Most High. I never thought, this wasn't on my bingo card, number one. Number two, I had just had no clue that this was how this was going to happen. When you read scripture and it tells you, like, judgment is going to start with the house of Israel, and 2/3 of us ain't going to be here. I was wondering, how? What we do so terrible? Now I see it clearly. I see. So, it is very disheartening to see this framing of this individual. It just demonstrates how the adversary has studied us so closely that they know if you put a black face someplace, the majority of black people are going to gravitate towards it and protect it. These are really dangerous times for us as believers, for us who are Hebrews, Judah, whatever you want to call us, those of us who are in this awakening, because we are witnessing like some strong delusions, some impeccable plays from the adversary's playbook. And if you're not awakened, if you don't understand what's happening, the spiritual thing that is going on, where they are continuing, the adversary, the powers that be, whatever you want to call them, are continuing to get our people to curse themselves and to be disobedient and go against the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, by simply following the vicar of Christ, or the vicar of God. I think it's the vicar of God. but this is supposed to be the replacement of the Messiah. So just supporting him, just verbally saying that you support him is not good. You don't, if you're not repenting, because this man represents the body that is going to lead the battle between good and evil on this planet. So it's really scary. It's very alarming to me, and all the other things that are going on, especially with Ibrahim Traore, and the support from Russia and China, and all these other nations are getting together to go against the United States. We are here. This black pope comes. The pope is from America. Like, I'm gonna tell you what, I've been having a really difficult time sleeping, because it is just, it's exciting, but it's also like, I hate to use the term scary, but it is like, how do people not see this? And why, I know I'm blessed to be able to see it. You're blessed to be able to see it. But I mean, we got to talk about the playbook here, because you're going to see a lot of your family members who go to church get played. You're going to see a lot of people like us be persecuted, whether it be by our friends and neighbors, our old church members, family members, whatever, or it could be by the system, could be by the world. We don't know. We got to see how this thing plays out, but we also got to keep watch. So that's why I'm here. That's why we talking about it. I'm going to give you the Negro perspective, and you just leave me your comments in the comment section below to tell me, share your thoughts. What do you see? Because I see this as another black face in a high place that is meant to mislead our people. And it is going to be tragic. It's going to be devastating, because a lot of our people are so religious and unlearned. They don't know their history. They don't understand what's going on currently with this ecumenical movement and all these different Christian, Zionist and Christian organizations that have basically gone back underneath the Catholic Church. And so you're worshiping a totally different God. You have a totally different 10 Commandments. You have to go, you believe in confession to man instead of confessing your sins to the Most High, or to the Messiah. So it's really really weird right now, and I'm paying attention to as much as I can, to try to understand it, digest it, and to make sure that we stay on the narrow path. So let's get into this story. So it came out on May the 10th. It says, Black America celebrates African heritage of Pope Leo, whatever his name. I don't know those numbers. I ain't going through those Roman numerals, because I ain't Roman. I'm Pope Leo. That's what his name gonna be, Pope Leo. Y'all know who I'm talking about. So it says, Black America is taking pride, no we ain't, in a truth shaking up, it's not a truth, shaking up the Vatican and resonating through the streets of New Orleans. So what also is interesting is this man has been a cardinal forever. Nobody ever said anything. Pope Francis knew this, never said anything. People, this Pope has been all over, been in the priesthood for a long time. Nobody ever said anything, and all of a sudden it's a huge deal. So you have to know it's a setup. You have to know there's a reason this was concealed. You have to understand why now. It is no accident that this man happens to be the first pope that's with African descent, African roots, and from America, as America is in decline, as Babylon is getting ready to be destroyed. It's all spiritually symbolic. It's in some instances, in my opinion, ritualistic, and again, it makes us the scapegoat. Like I've been telling y'all, we are going to be the scapegoat. You see it through the erasure of history. You see it through the erasure of laws being passed to make sure we're going to be antagonized and stay in our status here. You see other groups are being emboldened and reinforced and supported. So we have to understand that there are multiple things going on at one time. You just can't be one track focused and think that um, you got it all. There's a lot of stuff that ain't even on our bingo cards that we got to be contending with and considering and navigating. But this is why the word tells you to keep watch so that you're not deceived. To keep watch so you can endure to the end. Faint not, because we're gonna see all kinds of things coming on the earth, and it's just so much. I don't think any of this is accidental. So this says Pope Leo was formerly Cardinal Robert Prevost of Chicago and has black and Creole roots. So it says the Pope's factual anthropological roots are not just symbolic. According to genealogist Jari Honora, his maternal lineage traces directly to the black community. It says to the black community of the 7th Ward, with family ties to Haiti and census records identifying his ancestors as black or mulatto. So there's a lot missing in this, and if you are black and you understand how long it takes for you to get white, we know what time it is. And why they're suddenly talking about the mixing and black and mulatto and the different nationalities together, ethnicities or races together. And it's because there is this agenda to get rid of black people. Get rid of black. They want you to sleep with anybody but another black person so that you can whiten white people, because white people are recessive. They're dying off, so they got to replenish themselves, and that takes about 3 to 4 generations. So they've been working on us for probably like 10 years now, maybe almost 20, with this integration, this whole everybody, this one love, diversity, equity, inclusion. All this stuff is tied to erasing us, because regardless of all the other people that are erased, that are black or that are melanated and can help replenish white people, everybody else is going to be collateral damage because we are the targets. If you get rid of God's chosen people, God's chosen folks, then you can rule and reign the planet a whole lot longer. They haven't been able to do it successfully, and so they're going to continue. That's what they do. But we got to know the playbook, and the playbook is working. It's working. So a lot of people have bought into this. Black women don't like black men. Black men don't like black women. Everybody want to go out and be a passport bro or passport sis. We got lesbianism. We got homosexuality. We got people who are just hoes and men acting like pimps. We got all kinds of things going on that have been implanted in our community that will keep us divided, keep us from procreating. And same things going on in other communities. Unfortunately, it's being done to white people too. White men and white women aren't getting along either, because they need to get rid of one, which is the white man. They don't need the white man, because a white woman can procreate with anybody and whiten the gene pool if they guide her properly. So a lot of this stuff is optics. What I'm trying to say is optics. It's giving credence to this mixed multitude that the UN wants to create, but they want a mixed multitude for hell on earth. The Most High is concerned about a mixed multitude for his millennial kingdom, and he understands that those who cleave to Israel will be considered mixed multitude, and they can be from any nation. So it's just a very interesting time, and like I said, we have to be mindful of what the end game is, because this is a part of the UN agenda. So they want you to not see. They want to claim black when it's convenient. Everybody want to be black till it's time to be black. We don't get to pass. So, you're looking at an individual who has had the luxury of passing, because this was kept a secret, and it was kept a secret intentionally. So they didn't pick the blackety black men who could have been easily identified as African. They picked the middle of the road person, just like they did with Obama, just like they did with Kamala Harris. Same damn playbook. So don't get it twisted. One, you should not be even tied remotely, emotionally, or given any type of support to this entity, because it is the reason that we're in captivity, number one. But also, too, it is the biggest religion on the planet that misleads people who think they are actually worshiping God, but they're not. So don't get twisted. Don't get up in this. Just see it for what it is. It's an illusion. It's a trap. They send traps. Okay. So, quote, by the Europeans' own 1/8 rules, we have a black pope, noted Elie Mislead declared. Noted author Elie Mislead declared. Quote, anyway, Pope's grandfather is Haitian, which Elie is Haitian, so that's why it's a big deal to him. I don't know. Elie Mislead used to speak a lot on MSNBC. He has his own podcast now, but anyway, you see how people just tend to gravitate. They got a little bit of heritage. They don't look at the body or the entity. I don't know if Elie Mislead is Catholic or not. I don't know what his religious background is, but if you start, you can see where political figures are connecting with the religious / government, and there you have it. So you can see how peace and safety, sudden destruction is going to come. You can see how a lot of our people are going to be misled. They're going to gladly worship the beast, because when they introduce Sunday laws or Sunday day of rest, or whatever day of rest that this person promotes, the world is going to do it, because they've been conditioned to say black people know best. Black people, whatever black people do. So we're living in a time now where it is very it's a lot of deception, and we gotta make sure we are staying on top of this particular story. I've been telling y'all, you gotta pay attention to what's going on at the Vatican. You gotta pay attention to this Pope. You gotta pay attention to the Pope. You really gotta pay attention to this Pope. So I'm gonna be on him like white on rice. That's what I'm saying. If y'all know something, let a sister know. If I'm missing something, tell me about it, because I don't want anybody to perish for a lack of knowledge or a lack of ignorance. If I can't help it if the algorithms don't take it out, but if y'all share it, if y'all tell people what the plays are, because they're running the same old play that they do with politics, we're gonna get a black looking person and say that they're part of the black community, when in all actuality they are not. Let's see. It says, anyway, the Pope's grandfather is Haitian. We kind of got a black Pope. In woke is not going to be happy about this. Further, New Orleans historian Jari Christopher Hanara, speaking to the National Catholic Reporter and Black Catholic Messenger, detailed how the Pope's grandparents married in 1887 at Our Lady of the Sacred Heart Church on Annette Street in New Orleans before migrating north. Listen to this. His mother, Mildred Martinez, was the first child in the family born in Chicago. The Holy Father's ancestors are identified as either black or mulatto, Hanara said. So why is that? Is it because of the father? You notice they talk about the mother, and her last name is Martinez. But they don't say anything about the father. There's so many missing pieces, so we don't know how. We don't know a lot. Not that it really matters, because black people accept anybody. Not saying it disparagingly, but if you say you black, we take you. But because this attachment to blackness is a matter of life and death, literally, we need to be CSI in NCIS investigating. So it says the Chicago Tribune and New York Times also reported on Pope Leo's mixed race background and Creole lineage, noting that his election marks a defining moment in the church's evolving identity. Well, my question is, why wasn't it brought up during the vetting process when they were in conclave? Nobody ever said anything, so they're holding this. This was the trump card, and it's a way to get control of black minds and black emotions once again. So this is why we have to be mindful of everything that the adversary is putting out now. So it says, as a black man, a proud son of New Orleans, and a U.S. congressman representing the very 7th Ward neighborhood where our new Pope's family hails from, I am bursting with pride today, said Representative Troy Carter. Quote, this is history. The first American Pope with Creole and Haitian roots rising from the streets of New Orleans to the Vatican. As an Xavier University alum, I know how deeply faith and resilience run in our community. We celebrate this moment, no we don't, with joy. No, we ain't got no joy. With prayers, no we ain't. We praying all right, but ain't today, God. And with pride, we ain't got no pride. We are shamed. We need to be ashamed of ourselves, because we are so ignorant to the adversary's devices. And because we got so many raccoons who will lead our people to the lake of fire. Just ridiculous. Okay, so former New Orleans Mayor Mark Morial called Leo's background universal. There's that word, universal, tied to the UN's agenda, saying, here's an American whose ministry was in Peru. Why Peru? Perhaps it has something to do with his mother's last name, Martinez. Very Spanish Inquisition-ish. Who has roots in the American South and also ancestry in the American black community, which they still ain't said nothing about the black part. Yeah, I'm waiting on the roots to the black community. Leo is a member of the Augustinian order, named after the African theologian St. Augustine of Hippo. His election came from a conclave in which two other leading contenders, Cardinal Peter Turkson of Ghana and Cardinal Fridolin Ambongo Besungu of the Democratic Republic of Congo, were also men of African descent. So they had 3 men allegedly of African descent they were considering to be Pope, but they ain't picked the ones for sure that look like this right here, this black. They picked the light-skinned one. Just like they do all the time. They're so predictable. Okay, so it says, but Leo stood apart, not just as the first pope from the U.S., but as one known for his outspokenness on, racial justice, immigrant rights, gun reform, and the abolition of the death penalty. Pay attention to immigrant rights, racial justice, nothing about black people. Now, he got African and black American blood running through him, but he's not specifically addressing anything to do with the African American plight in America, which suggests he's middle of the road, which suggests other things that I'm not going to say because I'm already in trouble and I can't be talking too much now. Okay, so Time magazine reported that his selection represented a Vatican rebuke of efforts by the wealthy Americans and political operatives aligned with Donald Trump to influence the papal outcome. Like, that don't even make no sense, because like Trump didn't know the Pope was gonna die. You know what I'm saying? So this is the theatrics right now. So you gotta kind of ignore this stuff. So it says, known in Rome as the Latin Yankee, Leo used his verified X account to amplify criticism of Trump-era immigration policies, often reposting commentary from respected Catholic figures. The New York Post reported that the last post before his election was a retweet of the Catholic journalist Rocco Palmo slamming Trump's alliance with El Salvador's President Nayib Bukele over migrant deportations. Back in 2017, the Roman Catholic leader also reposted a message quoting Chicago Archbishop Blase Kupich, calling Trump's refugee bans a dark hour of U.S. history. Now, it's a dark hour when it comes to refugee bans, but it ain't no dark hour when it comes to slavery. Notice the Catholic Church don't never have nothing to say about stealing the Torah, using it for Christianity, misleading billions of people on the planet, how they slaved Israelites all over Africa, all over Europe, and here in America. Like, they don't have nothing to say about that. So it's just very interesting. Just pay attention to, how these people, what they align with, and how, like everybody else in the world, they casually forget who we are. So it says, though Trump era offered lukewarm congratulations. I'm talking about Luke era. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Let me start over. Though Trump offered lukewarm congratulations from the White House driveway, his far-right allies were quick to lash out. Laura Loomer tweeted, "Woke Marxist Pope," calling Pope Leo just another Marxist puppet in the Vatican. But outside the MAGA echo chamber, in black communities across the globe, the emotion is pride. I don't know nobody said nothing about no pope. Not one person. People tired of church. Now I know that. But I don't know any black people that's like, oh yeah, we got a black pope. What is that? Most black people I know, especially in the South, they ain't rocking with the Catholic Church. So the Pope is black, journalist Clarence Hill Jr. said bluntly. I mean, we'll be prideful about anything. Our self-esteem is so low as a people. We'll get happy about anything. Give them a bone and let it be something black. Oh, it's this black. So we having our Obama moment all over again, basically. So it says, and that means something in the black neighborhoods of Chicago and the Creole corridors of New Orleans. Many said it means representation. Oh, if we had $1 for every time we didn't get nothing for representation. Resilience. Ain't nothing been resilient about blacks in this country. And the reshaping of history, now that's happening at the highest level of the Catholic Church. Quote, we celebrate this moment not because it erases the struggles of our past. It ain't erase no struggle. What are they talking about? We're struggling right now. But because it affirms that our faith, our heritage, and our presence matter. No. So here we go with that representation. This is more representation stuff. We're gonna give you Juneteenth. This is the equivalent of we're gonna give y'all Juneteenth. That's what this is. This is history and it belongs to all of us. Now, Representative Carter said this. The Reverend Dr. Benjamin F. Chavis affirmed, on behalf of the Black press of America, as the authentic voice of 50 million African Americans and millions more throughout the African diaspora. They don't speak for me. They don't speak for me. And I'm sure they don't speak for y'all either. But again, you see how the puppets are being put out here to speak on behalf of all of us. This is why it's very important for you to use your social media platforms to speak out, to say they don't represent me, because you have to let this adversary know right now. It's knuck if you buck time. You can't be lukewarm. You can't be sitting on the fence. You got to be about that life. You got to be about that life for the Most High. And if you are not, it's gonna show. He's going to know if you sat out, you sat on the sat out of the game. You're sitting on the sidelines, or if you're fighting, and if you're speaking, if you're telling the truth. If you are trying to warn your brothers and sisters so that you don't have that blood on your hands. That's what time it is. It is not time to allow these people who are puppets, who have been paid by our open enemies, to mislead our people and to represent us for so long. It's time out for that. So it says, we join to celebrate Pope Leo, a world leader of African descent who speaks truth to power with courage and grace. I don't even know what he said. Like, how I'm supposed to be getting behind somebody? What did he do? What did he say? What did he do for us? What did he do? He was in South America. He was in Peru. What did he do for the Brazilians? They got the biggest Israelite community, I think, outside of, across the diaspora, who are in captivity. What? It's more of them over there than it is of us here in America. What did he do about them? They still over there being discriminated against and treated bad. So anyway, I just want to share this story with y'all so that y'all can see how the framing of this individual is gonna go. Let me blow up his face so y'all can see him. I want y'all to see. Y'all see him? All right. Y'all see me? I'm right over there next to him in the corner down there in the crack. I mean, I know people who look like him. They lived amongst us the whole time. I'm interested in how he lived his life. Did he live his life as one of us? Did he live his life passing? I don't really understand. But either way, it doesn't even make any difference because we know who this man is. We know who he is. And he is the scapegoat. He's making us the scapegoat. He's going to be the face of the fall. He's going to be the face leading the fight against the Messiah and the Most High. And we're going to help him. Our people are going to help because he's black. This is how so many people are going to be judged. So I want to share this passage from Bible Gateway, and it is 1 Peter 4. And I'm going to start with the suffering for being a Christian. But we're going to just say the suffering for being a believer. That's what I'm going to say. So it says, dear friends, do not be surprised at the fiery ordeal that has come on you to test you, as though something strange were happening to you. But rejoice inasmuch as you participate in the sufferings of the Messiah, so that you may be overjoyed when his glory is revealed. 14. If you are insulted because of the nature of the Messiah, you are blessed, for the Spirit of glory and of the Creator rests on you. You are blessed, for the Spirit of glory and of God. I'm sorry, and God rests on you. I already read that. I'm sorry. 15. If you suffer, it should not be as a murderer or thief or any other kind of criminal or even as a meddler. 16. However, if you suffer as a believer, do not be ashamed, but praise God that you bear that name. This is 17. For it is time for judgment to begin with God's household. Judgment is going to begin with us. So we have to always remember that. We always have to understand that when things start happening, our people are going to pay. And you have to know that the reason that our people are going to pay is because of the deception. They were unlearned. They didn't get wisdom. They didn't get knowledge. They didn't listen to the elders and the teachers and the people who were the watchmen trying to warn them. They were reprobate minded. They had, they followed their own lust. They loved the adversary, and in the end, it's going to come back to bite them and a lot of our people, 2/3 of our people, men, women, children, in the butt. So it says, for it is time for judgment to begin with God's household, or Yah's household. And if it begins with us, what will the outcome be for those who do not obey the gospel of the Creator, or of Yah? And 18, quote, if it is hard for the righteous to be saved, what will become of the ungodly and the sinner? So you notice that they separate ungodly and the sinner. So some of these nations, a lot of these nations are just going to be just plain old ungodly because they believe in something else. They live a totally different way. But then there are people who know the truth and know right from wrong, or who profess to be believers, yet they live differently. They didn't read their word. They did not obey the law, statutes, and commandments. They did not get the memo on following the adversary and the beast system and the man of sin and the son of perdition and all these things that are coming. They didn't get it because they were sitting in the wrong place being fed. That's why they're goats, and we're gonna be redeemed lambs. So that's why I named this video Scapegoated, because we're gonna be scapegoated. So it says 19. So then those who suffer according to God's will should commit themselves to their faithful Creator and continue to do good. So my doing good is sharing this video with y'all about what's coming, and also just working to try to work with as many people as I can and get them to wake up. So please like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification so that you'll be notified each and every time I upload new content. Follow me on Odyssey, Rumble on Instagram, and on Facebook. The links are in the description. I will put a link in the description to this story, as well as the Pope's connection to the UN agenda. That's really important. I'll talk about that later. If you'd like to support the channel, please consider supporting my GoFundMe campaign, because it is 50% complete. If you'd like to support in other ways, I have Venmo and I have Coffee. The links for those are also in the description. If you'd like to, do something else, just hit me up. My email is on the front page of my YouTube channel homepage. Also, you can just leave me a comment in the comment section. Lastly, continue to prep, continue to pray, continue to seek the Most High, obey those laws, statutes, and commandments. Read them commandments and compare them to the Catholic Church's commandments. And then read I've been talking about the Catholic Church for a minute. It probably lasts 2 years. So go back to my videos that I did on the Pope, because what is coming is going to be so sinister and so devastating. We're going to need to protect ourselves from persecution. And again, persecution will come from people who are Christians. That's why the word kept talking about, what Christians are going to do. Christians are going to do these things to you. Now you see why. Christians are going to really be deceived, and they're going to be angry because there is no rapture. They're going to be angry because they adhere to the wrong 10 commandments. They're going to be angry because they did not read their own word. They listened to these doctrines of devils, and they had, they liked the messages that tickle their ears. They didn't again, they just didn't read for themselves. They didn't study history. They didn't learn their enemy. They didn't stay away from the enemy. They got in bed with the enemy. So there's going to be a lot of deception, and there's going to be a lot of anger because we don't know how long we're going to be here and what we have to go through. We need to be prepared to endure to the end. Okay? All right. This is Marley K. Love y'all, and I'm out.